Hi guys, in this video I'm showing you this Gucci bag that came with very heavy soil on the canvas. This is the fabric jacquard, as they refer to sometimes. As you can see, the leather is in very good condition. In some areas it's not as bad as, for example, this area. So you can see here there's a lot of scuffing where the leather really has sort of lost its original finish. So I have covered it in plastic, and this one's a tricky design because, as you can see, it's not just your typical like trim high above or at the bottom. This one doesn't have any leather here, but it does come with this kind of stylish straps that are attached to the body on the side. So when you are going to be dealing with dye, of course, you want to make sure you don't get it on this surface or surfaces that you do not wish to dye. So I have covered the body of the bag. The canvas is now protected with a layer of plastic, and I've been very careful to kind of cover it on this side. And what I will be using is this Phoebe's product. This is the leather dye. And so, once you've protected the surface and you're ready to start dyeing, just be very careful not to get it on your skin or get it anywhere else. So let's get started. As you can see, the hardware is not a big problem because this dye is not going to adhere to it. It'll appear stained, but that's not really a problem because you can go back and wipe it down. This dye is not going to permanently get on your metal hardware. Now you just want to be mindful that you're covering every bit of surface. On the edges, on the sides, and so on. So what's happening here is that the leather is very, very dry, and so it will absorb the dye very quickly. And this dye dries in a fairly good amount of time, so you don't have to worry so much. So the scuffing is minimizing a little bit with the dye because it begins to kind of blend in a little, but it's really not disappearing altogether. So in the end, once you've done sort of one layer of the dye or one application, you want to make sure that you kind of let it dry so that you can see exactly what shade is taking, and then you decide if you want to go for one more application, just to be sure that it's more of an even cover or coverage. I forgot to mention to mix your dye well, because a lot of the dye may have gone to the bottom of it. So like in some other products, you want to make sure that you mix it well So then you're getting an even solution as you're applying this. So I'll keep going at this process. I will be coming back shortly and showing you what the first application looks like. Okay, so here is after the first application. As you can see, the dye has been fully absorbed by the leather and still appears a little bit worn in some areas. So I'll be doing a second application. I'm just looking for different areas where the lighter shade still shows, in an effort to really work those specific areas. Give them a chance to maybe darken a little bit more. So this is not going to look as if it were brand new, but at least restore the look of the leather so it appears more evenly in color. The worn areas will continue to be worn areas because the original finish and the smooth finish of the leather as it originally looked is now going to be worn off, so it becomes a little bit more of the kind of suede like feel, and so that is always going to show through, and that's okay. We just want to make sure that it looks nice and even. To make our back here look much nicer. Okay, so in this stage, the leather has had a couple of applications of leather dye. Now what I would like to do is just kind of protect the new coating. My plan is to use Fibbing's Mink Oil Liquid. Here it is. This one says it preserves and waterproofs shoes, boots, and all smooth leather surfaces. And directions: apply mink oil freely and work into leather. Caution: will darken light colored and unfinished leather. Not force use on suede or nubuck leather. So I'm going to be using a piece of cloth, just a piece of an old t-shirt. I will apply some of the product. There we go. So I think at this point in time, I think we can do just as the directions say. So I'm going to work through this strap first. It says to apply I'm doing some generous amount because I want to make sure that I'm doing this evenly. And because it is a type of oil, I think it's fair to say that it will be absorbed by this leather. Now I did test one area of the bag, and in a matter of minutes it didn't look too different. Now this leather already has a finish, so, or a color rather, so it didn't change too much. It is looking darker right now, but I think as it really gets absorbed, and I think it may dry somewhat, I think it will change. It will look more like what it looks like now, but I'm also interested in protecting the leather a little bit so that we can begin to use it without worrying about, you know, anything happening to the surface. So as you can see, it feels like an oil, but I think it really kind of, you know, doesn't stay greasy, so to speak. So so far I'm kind of liking the way this is working out. Product does get very easily all over the place, so the glove here really helps. I should be wearing a glove on the other hand. Here we go, so you can see that hopefully a little clear, and then you'll see how in a matter of time it does really become less and less oily as the material begins to work on the surface of this leather. So I'll keep going throughout the surface and we'll see what it looks like after the first application. Okay guys, so here you have the end result. Just to recap, this bag was very dirty, especially on the fabric part of it. It was deep washed in soapy water, and after it dried, I proceeded to work on the leather. The leather was very dry, was fading away as far as the color is concerned. After this treatment and dyeing and conditioning the leather, I think it looks much nicer. It's not looking like a brand new handbag, but I think it looks more presentable. One of the things that I like about this bag is the fact that it looks very steampunk, or at least that's the impression I get. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I hope that you will find information useful, at least the process that I've covered with you this time around. I hope that you have a great day, and thank you for watching Paris Grace. See you next time.